Just like it is not in your destiny to be broke, to be without money, it is also not in your destiny to be sick, to be with disease. I'm going to share with you another story that falls in line perfectly throughout this money series that we have been into. I think now we are in part 8, I believe it is, 8 or 9. But before I get into the story, let me introduce myself. I am Tamara Tamu. This is the Unleashed Alchemy YouTube channel. Where on this channel, we talk about going against the grain so that you can live a soul-fulfilled life. What is a soul-fulfilled life? It is magical. It is full of enchantments. It is you embracing your God power, the fact that you are infinite intelligence. It is not something that's out there for you to try and connect to. You are already that. That is what we focus on this platform. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So if you recall, the video that I did that I weaved into this series, I gave you a story that gave an example of what it is going to take for you to step into your I am power, regardless of what is in your external circumstance. And that includes not just what you see, around you as far as a circumstance, but also the people that you are in community with. Now, I know that we've seen a lot, especially within the last couple of years, when it comes to, embracing the spiritual odyssey. You'll see a lot of people that will focus on you separating yourself. Now, I know that it may get to a point where you have to literally separate yourself from people who have been in your life and they no longer fit to where you're going. And even in that case, in that extreme case, 9 times out of 10, you won't have to say anything to the individual. They'll just phase out of your life. Okay. However, from my perspective, when we talk about growing in our consciousness, elevating our consciousness, walking in our spiritual science, walking in our magic. Your magic is sharpened when you are in community with other people. Sure, you can go off into the woods, live up in the mountains, no shade to people that do that. However, how do you know if you're growing in your consciousness if you are not in communication with other people? For many of us, it's our family. For many of us, it's friends. Okay. So am I telling you, if there is someone in your life that you are feeling a call and you know that you are being guided to separate from this person or these individuals, then by all means follow that guidance. However, from my perspective, cutting people off should not be the first thing that we do. All right. So that was a side note. So with that being said, let me get into the story. So when you are in community, when you're on embracing the spiritual odyssey, and you are still in community and in relationship and in communication with people who either have no clue about this spiritual life. And here's a funny thing about that. People who ignore the spiritual, they don't know that they are already in that, whether they recognize it or not. Why? Because if you have been here, you know that we are spiritual beings having this human experience, not the other way around. So whether you have someone in your life that recognizes that they're on a spiritual odyssey or not, they already are. Okay. It is what it is. So you have people that will recognize it. And then you have some people that may be on the fence. All of that is fine. Everyone has their path. If you are, perhaps you are the only one that has said, that has raised their hand and has surrendered to the spiritual odyssey and has said, yes, I am an alchemist. I am a magician. I am embracing my power to call the unseen into the seen. All right. I am a psychic. I am a medium. I am a reader. I am a tarot reader. I'm embracing my role as a healer, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. Maybe you're the only one. So that means that not only are you going to see a shift or feel a shift on the inside of you, your conversation and the way that you speak, the way that you view things is going to change. Why? Because now you are hearing with the ears of spirit. You're feeling through the energies of the great I am. You're seeing things through the lens of the great I am, which is completely different than the programmed view that we're handed through religious programming and otherwise. So now your conversation is going to be different. You will no longer be able to sit in on the typical conversations that people who have not elevated their consciousness, you won't be able to sit in on those conversations anymore and have the same view. Now, we've been talking about money. Now, I want to give you an example when it talks about our health. So, let me get into the story. So, I shared with you in a previous video, probably, I think it was the most recent video, how I am being called to spend a significant amount of time in another country. Okay, I don't know how long. I don't even know what's going to happen when I get there, but that's fine. And I'm sharing that with a few people. And I told you in the last video that the first thing that comes out of people's mouths is the money. Do I know how much everything is going to cost? Do I know this? It's expensive to get back and forth and blah, blah, blah. And all these things, these conversation staples, once again, okay, that people find themselves drowning in because they are stuck in programming. All right. That's not a judgment. That's just what it is. I was once stuck in programming. Okay. So to navigate that, you have to remind yourself of who you are. Are you going to now? Would it be easier? Is it easier to go back to adopting that program conversation about money? Is it easier to get your energies entangled into, oh, everything is expensive. Do you know how much it is? And blah, 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 and all those things, which before we may have thought as logical. However, when you have elevated your consciousness, when you know that you are of infinite supply, when you are the energy of money, when you are currency, when you carry a multiplication factor of everything good and perfect, including money, you don't view things the same way anymore. Okay, you're not looking at a purchase, or you're not looking at money through the same lens anymore, through the program lens anymore. So let's apply this to the example and the story that I want to share. I keep getting off the story, but let me apply that to the story about health. So within the same conversation, then the question came up of, well, what about health? Do you know anything about medical, and what about your health insurance? Because you know, once you get to a certain age, then you have to start worrying about high blood pressure, and you have to make sure you get the right medications. Now, this person is going through this tangent, and I'm listening. I'm not adopting. I'm not allowing the projection of any of that. I'm hearing. I'm not identifying with it. I'm not even arguing or even, I'm not even arguing with that. I'm not even disputing that. I'm hearing and I'm listening. And the whole time in my head, I'm saying, now, I am perfect health. I am in perfect health. I don't subscribe to the program notion that because I am at a certain age that now I have to start expecting to see and experience ailments. So I'm listening to this person who is operating under programming. They have believed and have told themselves that at a certain age, you have to start expecting certain ailments, and you have to start looking at certain medications when I have never experienced anything that has anything to do with high blood pressure or otherwise. So you see where I'm going with this. Now, again, we are not judging people who have not elevated their consciousness. Because, again, to have elevated your consciousness, that means it wasn't, at one point in your life, it wasn't elevated. So we know what that looks like. We know what that feels like. We know how we have operated in that old identity. But when you are on a new timeline, when you are existing from higher dimensions, from new dimensions, even when it comes to your physical body and your health, you view it differently. Do you see what I'm saying? So a person may say, well, isn't it logical to consider, health insurance? And well, it may be logical for somebody, but isn't it logical to step into the identity of someone who is in perfect health? If it's logical to expect an illness or an ailment because you've reached a certain age, can't it also be logical to say, well, years have been added to my life, thankfully. That means more perfect health is also added to my life. Can't that be logical as well? So you see how you have now, if I was not standing firm in my I am power, I would have disputed that, and it could have turned into a back and forth. But when you know who you are as a cosmic being, as a being of the cosmos, as a being of the stars, as a being of the planets, as a being of the sun, as a being of nature, as an energetic being, you don't have to say anything. Now, if you choose, if you have found yourself in that type of, communication with another person, having that type of conversation, you may choose to say, well, I'm in perfect health, if that's what you choose. However, there's going to be some moments where you're just going to shake your head and just smile and nod. All the while, you're laying hold and making a continuous claim to your identity as a man or woman in perfect health, because you hold the I am power. It is in your destiny to not only experience harmony in your external, but to experience harmony on the inside. Because that is often, and listen, this is not, if you're watching this, this is not to make light of anyone's health circumstance, but a health situation, when someone's harmony is off on the inside, it manifests as an ailment, as a disease. Can we agree to that? So this is not to judge anyone that is experiencing an ailment. However, this video is to remind you how you have the power to decide what you are going to identify with. Are you not God? Are you not goddess? Are you not powerful? Are you not infinite intelligence? Are you not infinite abundance? Abundance of what? Abundance of everything good and perfect. Everything good and perfect in health and in money. So I wanted to share that story with you, okay? And no, it's not about money, but the example about health, it fits perfectly with this money series that we have been doing, okay? If you are new here and you have not started, if you're coming into the middle of this and you're thinking, okay, what money series am I talking about? It is called How Religious Programming Has Fucked Up Your Money. All right, very much in your face, very clear, okay, as to what we're talking about. I invite you to start with the first part, okay? Each video is numbered so you can clearly see 1 through, I think there's 12 videos that I did on this series. Also, the book that I've written regarding how religious programming has fucked up your money, it is on Amazon. It is in paperback. And so I elaborate so much more from the series into the book. I invite you to check out that book. It is on Amazon. The link will be in the description box of this video. Also, for one-on-one support in your spiritual odyssey, I provide a 12-session package, all right, where it will take you from any type of programming, religious and otherwise, to you experiencing spiritual ecstasy in every single part of your life. Where after working with me, you're going to be confident in your I am power. You are going to be confident in your spiritual gifts. You are going to be confident in the soul-fulfilled vision that you have for your life. You're going to be confident in knowing when you are hearing from spirit and when it's your ego. You're going to be able to identify when to move, when your intuition is pushing you to move. You are going to be fearless in tapping into other spiritual sciences. If you are a psychic, if you are a tarot reader, if you want to learn more about all the clairs, okay, that you have access to, that you have been sharpened in your entire life, okay, through your experiences. After that's what the 12 sessions are for. You are going to feel the freedom to walk in that, all right? Also, in addition to supporting you with my one-on-one sessions, I also have a magic school, the Unleashed Alchemy Magic School. It is a yearly membership, all right? So to check out both ways that you can work with me, I will leave both of the links in the description box of this video, all right? So until next time, cheers.